Before we begin, take a second and imagine this. You've planned the perfect trip. The route is mapped, the weather looks good, the trailer is packed, and you're standing there feeling confident. Right up until a small mistake you didn't even realize you made turns into a dangerous sway on the highway, damaged equipment, or a stressful roadside stop. If you want calm, safe, stress-free RV travel, this video matters. And if you enjoy practical RV knowledge that actually protects your rig and your peace of mind, take a moment now to subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it ensures you don't miss future videos that could save you time, money, and real frustration on the road. One of the biggest problems in the RV world is not a lack of information. It's misinformation that sounds logical, gets repeated everywhere, and feels right until it quietly causes trouble. Hitching and hooking up a travel trailer seems simple on the surface, but small misunderstandings here can snowball into dangerous situations. Many RV owners don't realize they've been taught the wrong thing until something goes wrong. The truth is, most RV hitch problems don't show up in the driveway. They show up at highway speed, in crosswinds, during emergency braking, or on uneven terrain. The first mistake happens before the trailer even moves an inch. Many people believe that as long as the coupler is on the ball and the latch is closed, they're good to go. This assumption feels reasonable, but it's incomplete. A coupler sitting on the ball does not automatically mean it is properly seated or locked. Sometimes the ball size is slightly off. Sometimes the coupler isn't fully lowered, and sometimes the latch is closed without actually capturing the ball correctly. The dangerous part is that it can look secure while being one bump away from failure. The safer approach is deliberate and physical, not visual. Once the coupler is lowered onto the ball, the latch should close firmly, not loosely. Then before chains, before wiring, before anything else, raise the tongue jack slightly, just enough to apply upward pressure. If the rear of the tow vehicle lifts even a little, that's confirmation the ball is actually captured. This simple check prevents one of the most catastrophic hitch failures possible, trailer separation at speed. Yet many RV owners skip it because they were never told why it matters. Another layer of confusion comes from hitch pins and locks. Some people assume the latch itself is enough. Others use a pin but don't understand its purpose. The pin is not there to tighten anything. It's there to prevent accidental latch opening from vibration or movement. Without it, road vibration can slowly work the latch loose. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it happens fast and without warning. That's why using a proper hitch pin or lock every single time is not optional. It's a habit that should feel as automatic as fastening a seatbelt. The second major mistake involves weight distribution and tongue weight, and this is where misinformation spreads the fastest. You'll hear people say things like, "My truck can tow it, so I don't need a weight distribution hitch, or it tows fine without one." The problem is that tows fine in a straight line at low speed is not the same as being stable under emergency conditions. Weight distribution is not about convenience. It's about restoring balance to the tow vehicle. When a travel trailer is placed on a hitch ball, tongue weight pushes down on the rear axle of the tow vehicle. This lifts weight off the front axle. That reduction in front axle weight affects steering, braking, and traction. You may not feel it immediately, but the vehicle is no longer operating the way it was designed to. Headlights point upward, steering feels lighter, and braking distances increase. A weight distribution hitch doesn't magically add capacity. What it does is redistribute load so the front axle regains proper contact with the road. One common misunderstanding is thinking that airbags or helper springs replace weight distribution. They don't. Airbags level the vehicle visually, but they don't transfer weight back to the front axle. In fact, they can sometimes make handling worse by masking the symptoms without fixing the physics. Level does not equal balanced. A properly set weight distribution hitch actually shifts weight forward, restoring stability where it matters most. Another related mistake is setting the hitch incorrectly. Some RV owners install weight distribution bars but don't measure any hing. They rely on eyeballing or guessing, which defeats the entire purpose. Proper setup involves measuring front and rear fender heights before hitching, after coupling without bars, and then after engaging the bars. The goal is not perfection, it's restoring the front axle close to its unhitched height. When done correctly, steering response improves, braking becomes more predictable, and sway is reduced before it even starts. Sway itself is another area full of myths. Many believe sway only happens if you drive too fast. Speed can contribute, but sway is more often caused by improper loading, incorrect tongue weight, or poor hitch setup. If the trailer's center of gravity is too far back, it acts like a pendulum. When wind or passing trucks push it, the trailer pushes back, and the oscillation grows. Once sway begins, instinct often makes things worse. Braking hard or steering aggressively can amplify the motion instead of stopping it. The real prevention happens before the drive. Proper tongue weight, typically around 10 to 15% of the trailer's total loaded weight, is critical. Too light, and the trailer becomes unstable. Too heavy, and you overload the hitch and rear axle. This balance can't be guessed by feel alone. It requires weighing or at least understanding how cargo placement affects the trailer. Heavy items should be low and forward of the axles. Water tanks matter. Storage compartments matter. Even bikes on a rear rack can change handling dramatically. The third major mistake happens during the hookup process itself, and it's often rushed or treated as a checklist to get through quickly. Safety chains are a perfect example. Many RV owners attach them incorrectly or misunderstand their purpose. Chains are not decorative backups. They are designed to cradle the tongue if the coupler fails. That only happens when they are crossed under the coupler in an X shape. Crossing the chains creates a basket that can catch the tongue and prevent it from digging into the pavement. Chains should be long enough to allow full turning but short enough that they don't drag. Dragging chains can spark, wear through, or even catch on the road. The connection points matter too. Chains should be attached to designated hitch points, not wrapped around the receiver or clipped to random holes. Every link in that chain is part of a system meant to keep the trailer controllable long enough to stop safely. Electrical connections are another area people underestimate. Plugging in the connector is not the same as confirming it works. A quick walk-around test can prevent dangerous situations. Brake lights, turn signals, running lights, and electric brakes all need to be verified. Trailer brakes especially are often assumed to be working when they're not. A simple manual brake controller test can confirm that the trailer brakes engage before you ever leave the driveway. Breakaway cables are also misunderstood. Some people loop them over the hitch, ball, or attach them to the same point as the safety chains. This defeats their purpose. The breakaway cable is designed to activate the trailer brakes if the trailer separates completely. It needs its own attachment point, independent of the chains, so it pulls free and engages when needed. It should have just enough slack to allow turning, but not so much that it drags or tangles. There's also a quiet mistake many experienced RVers make because they've always done it this way. They don't recheck after a short drive. The first few miles are when things settle. Weight distribution bars seat, loads shift slightly, and connections experience real movement. Stopping after 10 or 20 minutes to check the hitch, chains, tires, and lights can catch problems early. It's not paranoia, it's professionalism. Another subtle issue is overconfidence in towing ratings. Tow ratings are based on ideal conditions with a lightly loaded vehicle. Passengers, cargo, aftermarket accessories, and even fuel all count against capacity. Many people unknowingly exceed payload limits long before reaching towing limits. Payload includes tongue weight. This is why a vehicle that can tow a certain number may still struggle or feel unstable with a specific trailer. Understanding this distinction prevents strain on brakes, suspension, and drivetrain. Hitch height is another often ignored factor. A trailer that is nose high or nose low changes axle loading and braking behavior. The trailer should sit as level as possible when hitched. This usually requires adjusting the ball mount height. A level trailer tracks better, brakes more evenly, and reduces stress on components. It's a small adjustment with long-term benefits. The common thread in all these mistakes is not carelessness. It's assumptions passed down without explanation. People copy what they see, trust what sounds confident, and move on. But towing is physics in motion, and physics doesn't care how experienced you feel. The good news is that correcting these mistakes doesn't require expensive upgrades or expert tools. It requires understanding why each step exists and respecting the system as a whole. If you take one idea from this video, let it be this: hitching is not a single action. It's a process. Every part supports the others. When done correctly, towing feels calm, predictable, and almost boring. And that's exactly what you want. No white knuckles, no surprises, just steady miles and confidence behind the wheel. If this kind of clear, no-nonsense RV guidance helps you, don't forget to subscribe. Future videos will continue breaking down confusing RV topics into simple, practical knowledge you can actually use. Thanks for watching, drive safe, and enjoy the road ahead.